Welcome back to Straight from the Coffin with two goths in the coffin. I'm Amari.
And I'm Jude.
And today we are getting into something we're excited to start this new series.
Yeah.
The thing that we're about to get into, we're least excited about. But yeah, so we're starting a new series. This is we don't have a cool title for it, but basically we're going to be talking about films that we hate, horror films that we hate.
Yeah. And we decided to start off with what I feel is an uncontroversial choice.
No, I've seen a few people on my timeline for a while. And I saw them talk positively about it, and I'm like, I think I have to block you.
Yeah, I would block someone over this because what we're talking about is Return to Silent Hill. The new Silent Hill 2 specifically adaptation
Garbage.
by Christoph Gans, who he made the other Silent Hill movies, and I thought the first one he made that was like a loose adaptation of Silent Hill 1 I thought was fine.
Is that the one? Wait, were you?
That's
there?
the one that we watched.
Okay, we all watched. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, that was when we all started hanging out already, right? I think
so. Yeah. That was when our friends had just moved into their new apartment and invited us over, and it was the strangest double feature of Waiting to Exhale and then Silent Hill.
I know. Two very different energies.
Yeah.
But it was fun, honestly. I had such a good time. We need to do another movie night like that.
For sure.
But yeah, I had never played Silent Hill at that point, so I also didn't have high expectations.
Yeah.
So maybe that's also why.
Because I've kind of known it as being kind of a trashy movie. It's not it's not a high piece of art, but some people have affection for it, and I know the practical effects, and I think I kind of feel this way about maybe this one too. That's the practical effects and the monster actors. I remember there being some cool behind the scenes stuff of it being they hired a bunch of dancers and then bound them in certain ways so they moved weird, and I'm that's really cool.
I think that's the strongest part about
his approach to Silent Hill.
But and I also think that the actress, who I don't remember the actress for, every single woman
for
in the
every
fucking
woman except
film.
for Laura, who's played by the same person who did Laura in the Silent Hill 2 remake, done by Team Bloober Team. I never say it right, and I always say it wrong. And that's just a fun quirk of mine.
Are you pulling it up?
I am. Her name is Hannah something.
Well, I think that she does give Mary.
Hannah Emily Anderson plays Mary and Angela and Maria, and
I think she works really well for Mary and Maria, despite the tragedy of Maria's fucking wig. But
Jesus.
Outside of that, everything else kind of garbage.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into that. I think I'm gonna start off by talk about the very superficial things that we hate, and then we'll get in deeper to the meat of it. So of course I'm gonna say fucking hate that fucking ass James. I hate someone got into our TikTok mentions because we called him ugly, and you know what, I stand by it. I still stand by it. They wanted to come up in our comments. You have Jude, who's a lesbian, and me, a black bisexual who does not give a fuck about white men at all.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, why are you doing that? I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't care.
And I think the thing that got on my nerves most of all is that the TikTok I made wasn't even really about James at all. It was mostly about Angela.
I just added that in a little bit.
But everybody jumped on me because I called James ugly, even though I think his hair ugly, his outfits ugly. I mean, the way he does to smile, whack. But that's how I felt. It to me feels especially aesthetically and in the costumes, the CW's take on Silent Hill 2. It feels such a micro budget movie, considering that it could look better. I don't know what it is that it feels like. When I see stuff, I'm like, could you not just have bought normal clothes, clothes from the street? Why does it feel like this clothes is weird?
I don't know why certain movies that adapt video games or even anime, Americans adapting anime or whatever, why they have such like shitty costuming, considering that like as people say all the time, they're like, well, cosplayers are able to like do stuff that looks so much better than this, and cosplayers don't got a lot of money. Some folks do at this point because they kind of become professionals, but like most of us don't got that kind of money, and y'all got a budget at least, like like what's going on?
Where's I remember this is so funny. My mom watched the Cowboy Bebop Netflix show, and she had watched the anime, and she was just like, why did they make Faye Valentine look so weird? She looks weird. And my mom was like, people have purple hair, like why did they make her purple hair look weird? And I feel the same way here, like people have blonde hair.
I really don't get it.
And then I really dislike a lot of the Angela styling because they made her look monstrous. Like she looks inhuman. And I hate what that implies about her and the trauma that she endured, that somehow it's twisted her and made her like look weird and inhuman, when in the original and in the, like, if we look at the remake,
she's just like a teenage girl.
She just looks like a woman. Like she just looks normal. Like I would say, especially in like the original, there's an uncanniness when you speak to her, the way she says certain lines. Like I'll always think about the first conversation when he's like, I think I'm lost, and she goes, lost? Like it's so, but like she looks normal. Like she doesn't look, I don't know. And they whatever they did to her styling with like her hair and her makeup, it just, I was like, why did you make her like, I don't know.
It's weird.
It's weird.
I don't like it. That's why I was like, I think that Mary, she's the best. She looks the best for her, and that's great. Everything else outside of that.
Yeah, I remember when we first watched, we were like, well, this actress, the Hannah Emily Anderson, does have like Mary energy. I mean, I know the originals, like James is kind of young, but even though he's young, he's old to me.
Exactly. Okay, that's the other thing.
Like I see him as like being in his like 40s. So to me, Mary should also be in her 40s. But like I think there's something to me about like them being married for a lot longer that would make the betrayal more impactful. And that's another thing.
But we're gonna get to that because I have a couple more superficial things. Because first of all, I think it's really interesting that people don't get upset about hair color when it's a white man, because I'm like, where's my blonde
James is blonde. Spiritually James is blonde.
Where's my evil blonde man? I only have like
space in your life for one,
and I chose him, so where is he?
I also don't like that they made him like a painter and like an artsy person, because to me, we were talking about this, I think, literally this morning, because
I was mad about him being a fucking speed racer.
Yeah, you took the honorable route of rewatching the movie before this, and I'm like, I can't do that to myself.
I dragged you in for the last.
You dragged me for the worst 20 minutes. But yeah, there's something about like James in the original being like a very normal person
and kind of pathetic,
and who like did this thing. Because to me it speaks of like the normalness, like the way that this sort of like misogynistic violence is normalized, and it's not going to be like, you know, this big monster who's going to do it. It's going to be your coworker, it's going to be your neighbor, it's going to be the quiet guy who's like pretty nice, and then it turns out he killed his wife.
And that's because like that's literally what makes it the scariest, honestly. And like when I was playing it, because you know, for me, I just recently played it last year. Wow, you couldn't see that Jude the little quotation marks, because technically they were the ones with the controller in their hands, but you know, whatever. Fuck off. You know, I'm sending you to Silent Hill. Anyways,
me being in Silent Hill is just me having to do the Eddie fight over and over.
Yeah, for real. Oh, wow. But like, what was so horrifying is I was like, had solely even grew some affection towards this man, because he was just like a normal, kind of pathetic, tired man who I could see just working a normal 8 to 5. And I was like, okay, I kind of had assumed that maybe like the worst thing he did was like cheating on his wife, which would still be terrible, obviously, but I was not prepared for him to have murdered his wife. And that just made everything, it heightened everything. And having like some painter dude who's like a cool guy with his Mustang and getting like a bar fight
and smoking a joint while he's trying to drive.
It just like, he already seems kind of like a douchebag anyway, so like I wouldn't be surprised to hear that he killed his wife, though that's not exactly how it happened.
Oh yeah, we'll get
fucked
into
up everything else,
the narrative stuff of it for sure. I think also, I don't know, like you were saying, like it also felt like they were afraid to make. They wanted you to root for James,
but honestly, it did the opposite.
Yeah, it makes him like a fucking douchebag, and you don't like him. But like the thing is, I think the original game, makes you empathize with him because he is very normal. He comes across the whole game like as just like a guy who's caught up in this situation. I think that's especially like emphasized in the remake that took a more naturalistic approach to the source material, whereas the original, it's very in that, like, you can feel the David Lynch influence and the uncanniness in the way that it happens, but I think it happens there too, of like, you're just on a journey with this person, and for most of it, you're like, why is all this stuff happening to this guy? Like, oh my God, this guy's caught in this horrible world, and then you realize that not only did he do this horrible thing, but he's also in a way trapped himself here,
right?
Because he feels like he deserves it, and he does. And like that journey, and
it's so much more interesting.
It is a lot more interesting, and it's more compelling. It's less like over the top exciting. You're not gonna have like, you know, he's not a hero. He's just the main character. He's just who the story is happening to.
Honestly, I love that.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I love it.
I'm just like,
it's why it's been so impactful for this many years. Like, what, the game is like over 20 years old, or like about 20 years old, and like still people come back to this game and people still cite it as an influence for things that aren't games.
I know.
For like movies and books. Or like Silent Hill 2 was really impactful on me because of how it utilized the narrative.
Let me tell you, this version, it's not influencing nobody. It's not doing nothing. It's not doing nothing. Okay?
I think now that we should probably get into like the story beat stuff, because like we kind of started going in
a little bit
easing into that direction, but yeah, I think starting off, I hate to be like right off the bat, but like the way that they have it be that annoying. They show James and Mary meeting, and like she's like trying to escape Silent Hill, and then I guess he brings her back, and then it implies that they lived in Silent Hill, like that's where they lived. And I'm like, that's already. And also, okay, then when we see him in the bar and he gets the letter, and I brought this up to Amari that I'm like, they got the rights to make the movie, but did they not get the rights to any of the dialogue?
Because what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Why would you, as iconic as the letter is, why would you not just use the actual letter?
Yeah.
Unless you didn't have the permissions to do so.
Yeah.
That has to be the only thing, because otherwise I'm gonna look you in the eyes and tell you how fucking stupid you are. Because like, what are you doing? What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Yeah, and like, you know, one of the things we talked about, like, it's James is putting himself through this because of his guilt in the original. So like, when he gets the letter doesn't imply that anything's wrong. It just is you know, in my restless dreams, I see that town, Silent Hill, and then her being like, and I'm waiting for you here in our special place. And then James is like, I gotta go. If she's there, I've gotta go.
Yeah.
And then in this one, it's like, I'm in trouble. Help me. Stupid. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Because now it makes it like James is now a hero. He has to go and help her. When this one, it's like, in the original, it's like the thing that is, you are like, why are you pressing forward like, as all this like shit happens to you and all these like fucked up creatures happen to you, like, why do you keep having to push forward? And then when the reveal happens, you're like, that makes so much fucking sense. And then in this, it's just like, like a Taken. Like, it's just like some shitty ass basic ass action movie setup where it's like she might be in there,
and like you can tell a little bit that there's like some guilt in it, but like it feels kind of meaningless at the end.
And then showing him get into a bar fight is like weird, and he has like a therapist, which is like weird. And then they keep trying to like push in like the cult in it and all of it, which Silent Hill 2 is the only Silent Hill, well, I'm pretty sure it's one of the only Silent Hill games that is like not about the cult at all. I think maybe Silent Hill 4 doesn't have that much to do with the cult, but I'm not as familiar with that one. But like Silent Hill 2 is a standalone. It doesn't really have anything to do with 1 or 3, which are very much about the cult.
Isn't there like one possible ending that has a slight cult reference? I could have
think
sworn
one of them,
but like
has a
one
reference.
Small little minor reference does not like.
I think there's one ending you can get where like James, like when you go to the thing where you like speak to Maria disguised as Mary, and he's just like, I can bring her back, and she's like, you gotta.
I think we watched that actually.
Yeah, it's like very scary.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they kept trying to push in too much of that when it's not relevant to Silent Hill 2 at all. But yeah, and then so he goes to the town, and it feels like so much like it kind of felt like Christoph Gans had like watched gameplay of Silent Hill 2 like 7 years ago, and then was like, this happens, right? It's like an approximation of like things happen, but not in the right order or in a way that undercuts the narrative tension.
Right.
So he goes into the town, and then they have like the weird alarm go off, and then it goes into like nightmare mode.
Well, even before that, at some point he goes and looks at himself in the mirror.
Oh yeah.
And then right after that is when he meets Angela for the first time.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, the ash is like falling or whatnot. And she's like, help me like carry this thing. I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? I think going on what you just said, that we've talked it before where we're like, we don't actually want adaptations to be like direct, like frame by frame. We don't need them to be like
1-to-1 like, you know, copies.
But the thing is, you need to be able to understand what's like being said in the thing, in the material that you're adapting. And I don't feel like, whether he doesn't understand or he just doesn't care and wanted to do his own thing, and if he was more willing to engage even more so with the guilt and also misogyny and misogynistic violence and how that like manifests, I think that maybe, you know, I would be more okay with the different things that he like adapted, but like that's not what he was thinking of. At least didn't feel like he was thinking of, because the choices that he made are crazy.
Yeah, and I think, you know, everything with Angela is a goddamn travesty. Ugh. But and I kind of said this in that TikTok, but like,
go off.
Angela is her own person, and her story is not tied to James. It's not related to James's story, and considering that her story in the original, you know, version is that she is a young woman, she's 19 years old, who spent her entire childhood being, you know, sexually abused by her father and brother, and then she kills them, but she can't. Killing them didn't fix what happened. She's still carrying all that trauma with her, and on top of it, like, her mom rejected her. So she's alienated from everybody, and in her mind, she's like, this has ruined my life. Like, I'm never moving past this. And so she's carrying this, like, heavy trauma with her, and every time she interacts with James, they're having not necessarily a conversation directly, except for like the knife scene, it's directly about this, but every time they interact, it is both of them contemplating suicide. These are two people who are deeply suicidal, and Angela is, I don't want to say she's more comfortable with her suicidal ideation, but I think she wears it on her sleeve more, whereas James is pretending, or like trying to push it down, suppress it. And one of the things I remember we talked about in our like recap video when we were talking about the video games we played is that I love the line change in the remake where when she's like, James, give me back the knife, and he goes, no, and she goes, are you saving it for yourself? And in the original game, James says, no, I would never kill myself. And then in the remake, he doesn't say anything.
Yes.
And it's a amazing line. That's a good adaptational change.
Didn't even like get anything like that.
No, and like, but every time they interact, Angela is the only other person in Silent Hill that he actually like connects with, because the only other person is Eddie, and then there's Laura, but Laura is angry with him,
right?
Because all she knows is that he made Mary sad.
Yeah.
And so whenever she sees him, she punishes him for something.
She's like, fuck off.
She initiates the flesh lips encounter. She's calling him names. She's running around. She's making things harder for him. And Eddie is off-putting. Eddie at first starts off pathetic as well, but James sees pretty soon on that this guy is dangerous and this guy is very violent. And all of these things together are people who are also there who like enhance James's story,
right,
but aren't manifestations of it. And I think this is not a new like comparison, but it feels very like No Exit by Sartre, where it's like hell is other people, where it's like it's these three people have died and they've gone to hell, but hell is just a room with the three of them in it. And it's because they will torture each other for an eternity better than a demon will. So like that's where we get the line hell is other people. Because it's three people who have trauma in such a way that exacerbates the other person's trauma. Okay. They will torture each other. And that to me is like Silent Hill. It's like Eddie is there and James's presence pokes at Eddie's insecurities, and Eddie and James being there makes Angela feel more anxious because these are two violent men, and then Angela makes James feel guilty because he can see that she's, traumatized and like something's happened to her and he wants to protect her, but she doesn't want his help.
Right.
And he's like, of course she shouldn't want my help. I'm a shit person. And then Eddie reflects his own violence and he feels like he can't escape what he's done when he looks at these two people. And then Laura knew Mary. So like all of these, but then I don't know. So it's like a perfect like cocktail to be in this thing to create this psychological environment. And then the movie is like, what if they were all
including like Eddie and James, we just found apparently. Out. Like, I mean, it was kind of like I kind of had a notion just because of how closely the actors looked alike, and then like.
But I thought it was just a case of like
it could have been
white people just like like that one old post when like they showed Ryan Murphy's lineup for the next season of like American Horror Story and it just looked like the same guy copy and pasted like 7 times. And I thought it might have been a case of that where it's just like he's like, I don't know, this is a white guy. Yeah. And I'm like, they look the same.
But no, it was intentional. I guess there's some intentionality there. It was shit. Because it just ruins how interesting all of them are.
Yeah.
And as, we've said before, as Jude has said before, it's just kind of, it's disrespectful, especially to, like, these stories and, what they each, like, experiencing, like you said, and the topics, like, what they mean. And, talking about like this violence against women, like you're talking about a lot and you just kind of condensing it and then not really engaging with like some of those discussions. Just, I don't know. It makes this one feel pretty, I don't know, empty, kind of meaningless.
It feels generic. It feels like if this was what the original game was, it would not have a hold. Like you were saying, like no one's going to be inspired by this movie. Except I've seen people make fan movie. They're like, I guess I have to do it myself.
Really?
Yeah, I need to watch it, but there's a movie that these fans made on Instagram that they're like, we're just gonna make Silent Hill 2 the way we think it should be made.
What's the term for it? I need a term for like when you are inspired by something, but because it was so shit, you're like, well, I gotta fix it. Yeah. Outside of fan fiction.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's spiteful motivation at this point. You're like, this person fucked it up so bad, I gotta do it on my own. But yeah, like, oh my god, I don't know. And like, I've seen people like praise at the very least, they're like beautiful gowns, when like it comes to like at least the environments in the movie are pretty alright. I think they're fine. They don't feel tactile to me. It feels computer generated at every corner. Like, I don't feel like he's in it. I feel like he's standing in front of it all the time.
I do.
You know what I mean?
I do understand that, especially in comparison to like the monsters are pretty, like we talked about, are pretty good, but like the environment itself, and also I feel like how often we jump out of the environment with the flashbacks. They should have been a little bit more sparsely planted in there. I think the amount of times that we do jump out, it kind of like ruins any illusion and the tension.
I also
any
hate
tension
it.
That could
I hate having to have a flashback like to communicate information, especially in this story where it's like you get info, but it's not exposition dumps.
It's kind of lazy.
Yeah, I'm like, in the original, you know, you find stuff that helps you piece together what all happened, like, in this storyline, and then in this one it's just like, let's tell you what happened, and I'm like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, and I think it's your responsibility to, like, if you're going to switch media formats, then it's your responsibility to figure out how to make do those same things in the way that fits for film. Yeah. Just keep it interesting outside of just like constant flashbacks. I felt like it maybe could have done like one or two or whatever. But after that, like, and how long they are, you're doing too much. You're doing too much.
And once again, since it's all like it's original content, a lot of those flashbacks, I kept sitting there thinking, like, what's the fucking point of this scene? Yeah. Like, I get, like, technically what the point of the scene is. They didn't know how else to communicate this information, so they told, not showed you. But, like, I kept thinking, like, what does this add? What does this add to the story? And I don't know. Like, it just was, like you said, it took me out of it. And it made me feel like the director was like, so you're stupid, so I'm going to have them tell you all their motivations and why they feel the way they do. And I'm like, I can figure it out. Especially if, like, you're making it for Silent Hill fans. They don't need to be spoon-fed. Right. Just, like, show them stuff. And also, if it's not for Silent Hill fans, they're going to think, like, wow, these games are kind of dumb, huh? Yeah.
Also, they were trying to, like, with those scenes, they were really trying to convince you of something.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm not convinced.
I'm
sorry.
I'm not convinced.
I'm not feeling it. It's not working.
It's not working. Yeah, I don't know. There's, like, certain games, like, because I think of, like, From Software games kind of work this way, too, a lot, where they have a lot of lore, but very rarely, like, is the lore, like, just thrown in your face. You have to, like, piece it together as you run around town and you find stuff. And, like, the psychological nature of Silent Hill, and, like, you know, is that James is going around and he's finding out the information of also what happened to the town just by progressing through the game and looking at the stuff. And, like, you know, I think of when you go to the historical society, like, that, you know, bit, they never, like, have an exposition dump, but as you walk through, you're like, shit's gone down in this town. Something's wrong here. And then you go to the prison. I think just the locations you have to go to, like an asylum, a prison, all these things, well. Like, say a lot, and also say a lot about James and where he has to go for his stories. But I don't know. And then,
I mean, it's kind of like, I think about how, where did we talk about, or did we just talk about it 101, where trying to decide if Silent Hill is essentially a gothic.
It's because I was editing something and I was using Silent Hill music as like background music, and I was like, can we consider Silent Hill a gothic horror? And we were like,
it definitely treads a line.
It treads the line for sure.
Especially the whole aspect of like the environment revealing a lot about the mental state and like what's going on.
Yeah. Like the environment being part of the horror, and like the secrets that have happened here, and like what it holds,
and how the past is kind of
I think it does have like at least like gothic inspiration for it, is where we kind of like landed.
Yeah.
Like I'm not trying to be like a guy who loves gothic horror. Know. Is this other thing I love gothic horror? But like I definitely think it plays in that space, and like I think it's very hard to do gothic well. I feel like it's kind of like she's kind of become that girl, because like
when it's
done well, it's transcendent.
Amazing.
But when it's done poorly, it's fucking garbage. And
many such cases.
Yeah, and then in this one, okay, so like we kind of meet Eddie, but Eddie doesn't really have a point. And then, like, they approximate the meeting of Laura, where, like, you see the key and you go to grab it. In the original, when you go to grab it and she, like, kicks your hand and then you don't grab it. And you're like, what the fuck, man?
I kind of hate that she's scared.
I do hate it, too.
I hate that she's scared. Because, like, the one thing that's also... Because it also makes it more off-putting that she's, like, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, what are you scared of? Like, she's like... I love that because it made it... You're just like... Who's this weird, scary kid?
You immediately assumed that she was part of the horror because she wasn't scared by anything. But I'm like, no, Laura doesn't see anything.
Yeah.
The world is normal to Laura, because I hate that because when they leaned into the Silent Hill 1 and 3-ness of it, as opposed to the Silent Hill 2-ness of it, where it's like everyone sees Silent Hill differently. And I think they do have that. That is in the other games, but it's like that is like kind of a huge point of Silent Hill 2, that everyone sees it differently. And like Laura sees nothing because Laura is not being punished. Laura is not in danger because Laura hasn't done anything. She's a little girl.
I'm just here to fuck up Jamestown.
Yeah, she's just there to like, because she's sad and she misses her friend that she made in the hospital. And so there are no monsters. Everything is fine. She's chill. And everyone else sees the fucked up shit. And I heard someone say something really interesting that's like, Angela, sees everything on fire. Like, she's surrounded by fire.
Oh, I know where you're going, yeah.
Yeah, and like, it feels like with Eddie, like he's encased in, like, there's ice. Like, it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
But James is in the dark.
Yeah.
Like, James can't see anything. And it has to do with the fact that he can't face what he's done.
Yeah.
And so everything is obscured, like which I find really great, that like everyone's stuff is like tailor-made for them and how they're moving through the world. And like I heard someone else say like fog, because like it's so foggy you can't see anything.
Can't see, it's obscured.
He's obscured. He can't see when either it's dark or it's fog. He refuses to face it head on until he can't anymore. And you get the videotape, and I'm like, ugh, it's so great. And I think to like, because like they tried to do the thing but they made it too on the nose when they were like revealing that Pyramid Head is an aspect of James.
It was too on the nose, and it also felt like, once again, I hate to keep using the word meaningless, but it felt pretty meaningless, especially once you get the other reveal of the fact that like he kills her, but like because she asked for him to.
Yeah.
It just kind of it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't
hit the same. And so like in the game, when you have like Maria die like multiple times,
God,
and it's each time it's horrible and traumatizing for James, that when he faces what Pyramid Head is and what Pyramid Head means, and he has to take them down. A manifestation
of his guilt.
A manifestation of his guilt, and the part of himself that's violent, and the part of himself that is like, there's like an implied sexual violence a lot to when Pyramid Head is going through and doing stuff. Like when you first meet Pyramid Head, that introduction is so uncomfortable.
It doesn't really work here.
And like, oh my god, like in the original game, they toned it down a little for the remake, because it's like even more like violent in the original game. But like it once again, it goes back to that thing of like Christoph Gans, I think, like feels uncomfortable with putting any sort of like making it that James is a bad person in any way, even though boring. It's so boring. That's so because like boring. There's a reason why the monsters are kind of there's a sexual element to them, and it has to do with like James and all of that, and like, you know, all of this stuff coming together. And like I remember when we were playing the game and I was killing the monsters, you were like, it makes me uncomfortable to watch him kill them. Yeah. Because it just looks like he's kind of just like killing women-shaped things over and over again. And when I would like double tap to like make sure, because sometimes I would hit them and think they were dead, and then they weren't dead. So I would be like, do it, and then you stomp them. And I'm like,
stop it, please. God. But then like once you find out what he has done,
they hide. They run from you.
That, and also like now you understand, like, I don't know, you understand like why these visuals are kind of in place. He's already been violent. He's very violent, and that's why they're like throwing up. He has that violence in him already.
It explains the character design, the monster design, and in this one it feels incidental.
It's just like, well, this is what was in the game, so we're just gonna like put it in there.
But it doesn't mean anything. Like, it takes away the meaning, it undercuts the meaning, like you said. Yeah. And then I really hated how when he's like, I guess Maria's not real, and just kind of like uses the pyramid head to like kill her, and like he doesn't care. And I got so angry because like that's, I think, what I was trying to like lead up to is like this moment that's such a huge deal every single time in the game is just like a whatever, he has to cut it down to move on. And it's like what? It's so shitty. Like, it doesn't add anything. And like, it makes him feel like cold and callous, honestly, that he just cuts her off like that. Which
maybe it would work if, once again, the ending, if we had a different ending. Yeah. If he was someone who just, you know, killed his wife because he's selfish, but that's, once again, not what it was. So the character, like, it's not lining up.
Yeah, and then it misunderstands Maria, like what Maria is, because like he feels guilty because like when Mary was sick, he would like go off to like the strip club and whatever, and there's part of him who's like, I wish that like she was still able to be like fun and sexual and whatever, like we were able to keep up that part of our relationship, but she's sick. And it's that uncomfortable resentment that happens when you are with a partner who's long-term sick, and then him seeing Maria, like he's uncomfortable with Maria being around because of what it reminds him of, that he has had those thoughts, which is horrible to think, but it's there. And then I don't know, like sorry,
no, I was trying to follow you after
You're good.
you, but also going along with that, because it just made me think about the fact that like in this one they aren't married either.
Oh my god.
And we talked about this before a long time ago, I guess, when we first watched it, that the fact that they aren't married cheapens it or lessens the impact, because it like while obviously you're still a shitty person if you like leave your, you know, sick girlfriend or whatever or whatnot, but like also you're not tied in the same way,
not legally,
definitely not legally, but you're just not tied in the same way as if you are married. Yeah. And so James feeling kind of trapped by that makes more for him to feel trapped by that makes a little bit more sense. If he's married, then like he can just go off and leave at any time. With, you know,
there's like responsibility, like also like legally, especially if like they're married, we don't really think I'm pretty sure they don't have kids. Yeah. So like he is kind of like her power of attorney when it comes to medical stuff. Like he has to be really involved in it because he is her husband, right? And so when he's like pulling away, that's also more of a burden on Mary. Yeah. Because like this is her husband, this is her like partner in all of this, and on top of her having to deal with the fact that she's dying, her husband is pulling away from her. And that's why like the scene in like the hallway after you watch the videotape where you hear Mary like yelling at James and being like, get the fuck out of here. But then there's the pause and she goes, don't leave me.
It's so sad. It makes me so... Everyone... Okay, we're not talking about... I mean, we're not specifically talking about just the game. We're focusing here on the movie. But already, everyone that I have ever seen talk shit about Mary, about her, God. Like, being quote-unquote mean to him. How about you shut the fuck up? How about you shut the fuck up? Never speak on her ever again.
Yeah, she's dying.
And mute Silent Hill.
Yeah. I'm like, she's dying and she's not getting... She doesn't have the support.
Yeah.
And even if she did have the support, you still have, like... It's still hard on you. And, yes, it's still, like... I think it does add to the messiness of the whole situation, because I do love that she's not like the perfect long-suffering wife. She got angry. Yeah. She's angry because she's dying.
Yeah.
And her life is being taken away from her. And on like,
shit,
and
if that ain't something to be angry about, I don't know fucking what. Like, yeah, what the fuck?
Yes, she takes it out on James because like he's the closest person there.
Yeah.
But like, that's just something that happens.
That's
like,
very human.
It's very human. And you can feel that. And then immediately after, she's like
sorry
I didn't
about
mean
it, too. I'm like,
because it was a, I don't, you know, like, he brought her flowers, but it feels like, I don't know. What is that? How's that gonna fucking fix me?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, if you're in that headspace, it's just like, so what the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Flowers. Okay. Yeah. But, like, we also know that he wasn't emotionally present. So, like, to bring flowers as, like, a way to, like, make up for the fact that you're not there, of course she's gonna get pissed.
Yeah.
Because she needs someone there. She's lonely.
I don't need flowers. I need you. I need it. I've been needing you.
Yes. And you're not here.
Fucking flowers.
And,
but anyways.
Yeah.
Not to get it off.
No, but, like, this all to me, like, because, like, all of this is in the game.
Yeah.
And we have none of this in the movie.
Yeah.
And they make Mary... I think, like, weird to say, like, less empowered. Like, she feels less... by adding all this stuff and, like, making her having to carry the weight of, like, 4 different storylines.
Yeah.
They make her... She feels less like a character and more like a vehicle for exposition. Mm-hmm. And so you don't get these human moments. You don't get these moments where you can, like, feel Mary and, like, feel this person. Because, like, I would say even the game at first, like... Mary kind of feels like this sanctified dead wife, but then you learn more and you're like, this is a woman. And in this one, she never reaches that point where you're like, that's a person. Which is crazy because
you do see her so much more in all the flashbacks, but it's still...
Yeah.
It still feels like nothing.
and I don't know. And then, like, when their approximation of the abstract daddy fight is so fucked up in the sense that, like, they take it all it's disrespectful. They take it all the tension. It's weird, and it is just solved with him being like, "I'm sorry, Mary."
What?
I mean, Angela. I mean, Laura. I mean. And then they don't have the staircase scene, which once again, I'm like, they didn't include anything that would make it make sense in the first place. But, like, all of these, like, big important character moments, they just, like, grab aesthetics from and throw them somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And then they have Laura there with, like, the weird baby doll, which is...
What is the baby doll for?
It's supposed to be, and I had learned this, that originally the storyline was going to be that Mary had a baby, and then had a miscarriage, and then they decided to take out that storyline, but they liked the visuals of her holding the baby, so they kept it. It's just
so stupid.
Yeah, that's another thing of, like, just, like, useless props and things that don't
Things are supposed to mean something.
Especially in Silent Hill.
Oh, God. I do remember that now.
Yeah. And I don't know. And then you get the big reveal that it's like he killed her, but, like, oh wait, they also do, like, the thing where, like, he dies or whatever and he wakes up in the hospital and he's like, I gotta go back.
I just skipped all that because it's not even important. It's stupid.
It's like such a lazy way of trying to engage with, like, the classic fan theory of, like, the time loop theory that, like, James has been here multiple times.
Let me get it again at the end.
Yeah, we get that again, and I'm like, it's a lazy way of engaging with it that doesn't... It feels dumb. You're like, what? Because I'm like, is Silent Hill a real place or is it not? Because it feels like he was trying to imply it's a real place and then was like, actually, it's not a real place. But, like, not in the way that the game does. Mm-hmm. In a weird way that felt, like, janky and, like, not... I don't know.
And
it didn't make sense.
It also kind of cut the pacing. The pacing already was not great. And that really just... it was like... sliced right through it. I was like, oh, okay.
And then you have like, the stupid scene where he what's it called? He kills her. Not even with a pillow. They couldn't even grab a pillow. They had to use a towel. What are we doing here?
Weak. Literally weak. Oh my god. And his fuck ass beard.
Oh God.
Not to get back to superficial things, with that fuck ass beard, we can literally see the line. If you're gonna do that, at least do it well.
Yeah.
At least do it well. Ugh.
Yeah. And then I don't know, the fucking bed floats in the air and she turns into a moth.
Why? Oh my god. He's floating.
And he's beginning to believe and whatever. And then he like, I don't know, they like kind of like reference the in water ending, but not really because he's not killing himself. And then it's like, we got to the portal to the other side where I can go back to the beginning and keep it from Mary ever dying.
I think I want you to speak just a little bit more on Angela real quick, though, because this is reminding me, this ending, where you said just a few minutes ago when we were talking about it, how they changed what the fire kind of like means and how they made the fire redemptive for him. And I thought that was interesting. Instead of, since we didn't get that like stairway scene.
Yeah. You want me to just talk a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you need to. You talked a little bit about Angela, but like I know that was really important to you, and I just want you to really
Angela's
go in
extremely
real fast.
Important to me,
I just want
and
you
I'm
to
trying
dig into
to
it.
not like only talk about Angela.
I want you to dig into just a little bit first, and then we can continue on.
I mean, like, yeah, when we were talking about like the abstract daddy scene in this one, where like I don't know, it to me what I mean, like, of course, once again, Silent Hill looks different to everybody, but when you first see, like, Abstract Daddy, it's hard to see, like, in the game. Like, it's a shape, and then the more you look at it, the more you realize what you're looking at.
Yeah,
which is
horrifying.
It's horrifying, and I hate the way they did it in this one. It feels, like, weirdly, like, I don't know, it feels more exploitative for some reason when you can see his face.
It is, yeah,
like the weird distended face.
Despite the fact they did do like technically a good job on the practical effects, but like
it was a good practical effect, but I think the design of it I thought felt icky. Like, and they do kind of reference in the original game when the Abstract Daddy room where it's like this like flesh walls with like the pistons in the holes, but we don't linger on anything and we don't get to feel this moment. And then also like when he says I'm sorry and like the fire like comes out and it's just kind of like, I don't know, at that point it just feels like he's like completing objectives and not like having these moments. And I love the moment in the original game where James, you know, does the Abstract Daddy fight and then comes back because Angela doesn't thank him for it because she's not thankful. Which I think is
we talked a little bit about like autonomy when you first talked about it, how like she doesn't, it takes away her
autonomy. It makes it like James is able to like forgive, like I don't know, like somehow by saying like I'm sorry you went through that, it's able to like eliminate all the weight of that trauma. Where like in the original staircase scene, which we get right after we learn that James killed Mary. When he was supposed to be a caretaker for her, he killed her. And then we get the staircase scene. And, you know, she's, you know, saying, like, don't pity. Like, because she, at first, is just like, she deserved what happened. And James is like, an absolutely no, you did not. And she's like, don't pity me, or like do you think you can save me? And then the whole like, will you love me, care for me, heal all my pain? And then he says nothing and she goes, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And it's because like he can't fix this. It's not something that can be fixed by like another person like loving you hard enough that your trauma goes away. That's not how it works. And so to like reduce it to like this could all be healed because like, you know, her boyfriend said, I'm sorry you went through that. now all of the years of psychological trauma from enduring incestuous abuse is gone. It's like, that's not how it works. And I love that the end of the staircase scene, unfortunately, is that Angela goes up and we assume, is confirmed, kills herself.
Yeah.
She dies after that. And we never see her again. And it's like, there is... It can't, not that it can't be fixed, but it's like, it's not going to be fixed in this situation with these people and like the way that they're going about it. You can't like fight the big monster and at the end be like, and now it's all gone. Like, it's still there. She's gonna carry that her whole life.
Right.
And she can't carry it anymore.
Right.
She's tired.
Yeah.
And then they don't have any of that weight there. And it, like, yeah, it does remove her autonomy and her personhood and like her emotional reaction to it by having it be like, and it burned up and went away.
Yeah. Thank you. I felt like when we were talking about it both before we started the podcast today, and then also when we had talked about it before, I really like some of the things you were saying. So I was like,
I don't remember what I say after I say it.
You gotta talk about it. I gotta make sure you talk about it because it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, you know, he drives into the water.
Ugh.
And it's cringy as fuck.
Yeah.
Every single fucking line is cringy as fuck.
And I remember turning to you when we watched the first time and said, if this movie ends with them playing like the like like original, like what's it? Is that the original Promise or Theme of Laura? The original one?
I don't know.
I forget. I think
I can't remember.
I think it's the original Promise. Not Promise Reprise, but the standard Promise. I'm just like, God.
It was bad.
It's so cheesy.
We come back around to the time loop, I guess. But, like, he remembers everything.
Which is creepy and stupid and weird.
And it makes it, like, creepy and weird as well. We were watching the last 20 minutes, like I said earlier.
Like, I would assume he's a serial
killer. I know, because why is he
smiling
like that? He's too calm.
He knows my name.
He's looking at her in a weird way. I would have been like, you know, actually, I'm gonna wait for the next.
Yeah, it's like,
you know, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. He drives away with her in his fucking ass Mustang, a fucking speed racer loser. I hate it, but whatever.
Yeah, God, this movie sucks so bad.
Yep.
And like, we've talked about this before, though, that I'm like, I don't know what... I mean, I guess I do know what, like, a good Silent Hill 2 movie would look like, but, like, it doesn't look like this.
Don't like that?
It doesn't look like this at all, and, like, I don't know.
But also, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we need to even do it. We don't need to even do it.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't think anyone is going to be able to capture it.
No, I think you need the amount of time that you spend in that game and the fact that it is a game to help, because I think like, you know, the thing about like video games is like you identify with, like, when you die in a video game, you don't say, oh, I guess James died. You say, I died.
Yeah.
And so you do, like, because you move them and you're moving them through space, it allows you to empathize with this character more than I think a movie. I think right off the bat you empathize with them more because you're like, oh, I am moving this little guy. This little guy is a proxy of me in a way, even if they're not like you.
Right.
Like, you know, I don't know that many of us are like James.
Hopefully not.
But like you begin to like get these empathetic ties, these sympathetic ties.
That's what as I guess you were playing. Let me make sure I'm correct. And as I watched, since that's an important distinction, I guess. You know, I wasn't expecting to like, because I was ready to hate him from the beginning, even though I didn't know what he did. I was like, I know he did some shit.
Yeah, because I've talked in the past that I was like, James is kind of a shitty person, and you were like, oh, I guess he's a shitty person. But then you're like, as things kept not really happening, like,
and he was like, actually like nice to be trying to help, and I'm like, fuck, I guess I kind of had to like him a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then you find out, because like you've been going through this whole journey with him, and it just makes like the reveal so much more impactful. But yeah, I don't think you can get that in a movie.
Yeah, I think you would have to work really hard for it. And I think I guess you could, but like it's gonna take a lot, because it is a different medium. But is it like the Silent Hill 2 is like a cinematic game.
It is.
So to try and make it be a movie without making it beat for beat the game, that makes you kind of wonder, why am I not just playing the game?
Yeah.
I don't know how well you could achieve that, because it is so purposeful, and it is one of those games that, like, every bit of it, every, you know, line of coding, it feels like was meant to help the story along.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's good, because I was like, how impactful would it have been to, like, had, like, a really, really good Silent Hill 2 movie with, like, the remake Stillness ending. That ending is so fantastic. But, you know, we'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
I don't think we ever will.
I don't think we ever will.
But we'll just I'll just return back to the game when I have an itch. But yeah, so anything else?
Not really. Like, there's so much to be said about this game, and people have.
Yeah.
And so, like, whenever I talk about how much I hate this movie, it turns into me talking about how much I love this game.
I know.
Which is really hard, like, because there's so much to love about it. But I think because it's so, so good, just, I don't know, I feel like at every turn, the way that it's never gotten a good movie adaptation, despite it having such a clear, direct and well-crafted narrative, like, story, is really weird, because it's not like it's like
I don't think people are
a
willing to, like,
game.
engage with all the different aspects of it.
It's a heavy series, and it is a game that is not interested in being overly didactic. Like, it presents to you the story, and then it ends.
Yeah.
And it's not like, it doesn't moralize to you. It's not like, it shows you this complicated man, and it lets you care for him, and then it lets you see who he is, but he's always been this person the whole time. I think is the thing as well. It's like there's a big turn. When you go back and play it again, you're like, everything was there the whole time.
Yeah. Which is really
but it's
cool,
just, I didn't see it.
Right.
Because I didn't know to look for it. Which I think is so bold to do. It's like,
so
I know, like, it's inspired, like, they're very much like, is David Lynch DNA in Silent Hill. They've worn that on their sleeve the entire time, but there's something very Lost Highway about it. All that to say, this movie fucking sucked, dude. I wish I could get that time back.
Honestly, that's why
I won't watch it again. Yeah.
Listen, my memory is bad, so I had to.
I've never been more upset than when I saw that tombstone.
Choices are made.
Yeah.
Choices are made. And I'm now making the choice that now that we've done this, I will never ever watch it again.
Yep.
We're good on that.
Yep.
And thankfully, I didn't see it in the movie theater, so you know.
Yeah, I didn't give anyone.
I ain't gonna waste my money, at least. Just my time.
Yeah.
Because I would have been really mad.
I would have been really mad if I paid money and then that's what happened.
I would have been at his door, like, bah, 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 open up. I want my $12. I also want the money I spent on the popcorn and drinks. I want all of it back.
I want $500.
I want my gas money.
Yeah, I want the gas money. I want emotional damages.
Yes. Yep.
And
all of it.
For you to compensate me for the time I'm not getting back.
Yep. Exactly.
That's life I could have lived. And instead I spent watching this movie. But anyway.
Oh God. Yeah. Anyways, I guess that's it then. We are gonna do more of these. We have a total of 5 in this series.
Yeah.
We'll reveal them soon. We can reveal the next one though. I think we're gonna watch Fresh next. Or am I lying?
Maybe. I don't know. I think
we decided on Fresh.
we decided we're watching Fresh next. That's a me pick that Amari has to watch. But I watched it. I've never watched it. When it came out with a dear friend.
I just know it's Sebastian Stan.
It's Sebastian Stan. It's cannibalism. It seems like it should be up my alley. Yeah. But it made me very angry.
Which is I'm curious. I'm like, what happened? I'm still curious, but we'll see.
We'll have a whole conversation about it.
I'm also scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you for joining us today and listening to us hate. If you like listening to us be haters, you know, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know, comment. Tell us what horror movie specifically that you absolutely hate. Because I'm curious.
Yes.
Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we can hate on it for you. And yeah, be the biggest ultra haters because we love to do that.
Obviously.
But yeah, comment, like, subscribe, and you know, just thank you for joining us today.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.